I'm going to stand up to start, just to warm up the lower body and lower back and upper back. So I'm going to start with calf raises all the way up, all the way down. Soft knees, so a slight bend in the knees. And if that feels all right, roll onto your heels, so a stretch and a flex. See how high you can get them toes off the floor. Good morning. You'll squeeze at the top, you should start to feel a warm sensation, and then it'll turn to a burning in the calf. That's what we're searching for. Exhale, coming down. One more, and then arms rise as we come into a squat. Exhale to stand. So hips come back, squeezing the bum cheeks to stand. Keeping your chest upright. Another 5, 4, and then the last one, you've got the option to come up and rest, or you can pulse with me for an additional 10. 2 more. 1 more. And pulse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rise. Good, shake off those legs. I'm going to do that once more. Calf raises, stretch and flex. Coming down with control. Slower you come down, you might feel like a little shake as you do. Harder it's going to be, more muscle made if you get your protein. Keeping them knees soft. Chest proud, you've got tension in the abs. Good. Another 10. 5, 4, burny burn, 3, 2, 1. Arms rise, hips back, squeezing the bum cheeks. This time we're going to go for 12. 3, 4. Can you still feel the core connection on the lowest part of the squat? Because that's important to protect the lower back. 5, 2 more, 1 more, pulse for 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, let it burn, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rise. A good burn just above the knee there, knee strength. What I felt in your lower back as well. Shaking them legs off. Good mornings to warm up the lower back next. So hands next to your head, pinning them shoulder blades back. Hips come back, slight bend in the knee. Squeeze the bum cheeks to stand up. So where your power's coming from. We're in for 12. 6. So think you just want to work the backs of the body here. Place of tension in the heel, not the toe. You should be able to lift your toes up. Another 5, 3. 1 more. Good. Hands on hips. The lunges, pulse, going for 8. Just as far down as what feels comfortable, but sit in the middle of the lunge. Too far forward puts pressure on the knee. Too far back is a lot harder. So come all the way up, all the way down. Knee should ideally just be off the floor. We're going for 8. Feel a stretch in the hip flexor here. Deep breaths. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, and rise. Let's swap over. Down when you're ready. Another 8, or the same amount as you did on the other side. How does this side feel? Keep your hips face forward. Another 4, 3, 2, 1 more. Good. Coming down into a cat-cow position. Feel free to grab a drink. Oops. Let's check in with 10 to 12 cat-cow. Spine to ceiling and an exhale. In the cat, forwards and backwards. Notice any tension or tightness. Inhale in the cow. As you begin to mobilise and warm up, you'll be able to do more of a range of movement with the pelvis. Forwards and backwards tilt. 6. Moving the shoulders up and down as you work through the motion. One more. Good. Next, so if you're feeling it in your wrists, move them a little bit further forward just so that you're not clamping them down directly under the shoulder. Should help. Or you can go on to fist, or you can come in and out. So distributing your weight evenly over the left and right side, big circles, as big as you feel comfortable with the hip, rib cage tucked in, belly button into spine. We're looking for 8, but don't just dump in that hip that's supporting you. 4, keeping that leg bent. 1 more. Good. From here, I'm going to come up into fire hydrants. Foot comes up along with the knee. Exhale, coming down, another 8. One. Good. Next, left leg, same leg extends, opposite arm does, and you want to tap, keeping them legs and arms straight, not going much higher than the hip and shoulder height. Another 8. Notice if you feel any burning. Shoulders down away from ears. Last 2. 1. Good. Child's pose, break it up, knees together, sink into the mat. Inhale into cow, switch them abs on, over to the other side now, big circles with the other hip. 8. Again, distribute your weight evenly. 2 more. 1. Good. Into 8 fire hydrant. 3 more. 1. Good. That leg extends into the taps. 8. 2. 8. Good. Back into child's pose. Shake off the wrists and circle them if that feels good. Deep breath, sink, let go of the tension in your back. Good, making way over to the prone position as we warm up and lengthen the spine. So dorsal raises, feet off the floor if that feels good, pushing yourself off the mat, squeezing your elbows to the back of the room and trying to squeeze that P in between your shoulder blades. Exhale, coming down. High reps, 20 to 25, or as many as you can with that burning sensation. If you're bringing your feet off the floor, you're loading your lower back more. And you're trying to get up as high as you can and slowly coming down. Another 10. Five. 3, 2, 1. Good, and relax. Forehead to the hand. Next, we're going to bring, you can do one leg, just bringing one leg and knee off the floor. Trying to keep your hips level as you do that. To make it more challenging, you can bring both legs off the floor. And trying to get your knee up as well. And some of your thigh. Squeezing your bum cheeks as you do this. Protects the lower back. Notice where you're feeling it. If this is too intense, feel free to just go back to doing single leg. Another 8, so swap over if you're doing a single leg. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, rest. Next, we're going to do the angels. So starting from here, so floor is lava with your hands, coming all the way around and up. So without touching the floor, going for 8. Another 3 if you can, or rest. 2. Strengthening the back of the neck as well. 1 more. Excellent. Coming up. Let's go wide child's pose and get into those hips, opening them up. Deep breath, exhale as you sink into the mat. Noticing and observing the tension in the inner groin. Good, I'm going to do all that again, starting with dorsal raises. 20 to 25. If you need to do 4 or 5 sets of 5, that's absolutely fine. Just rest in between, no pressure, bringing warmth to the back. Coming up and slowly down. So a lot of volume in that first round. 4, 5. We're trying to keep the legs as straight as you can. You're just bringing the knees off the floor if you're lifting your legs. Good. Ten. 2. 1 more. And when you finish the last rep, sink in forehead to your hand. So waiting for that burning to subside. Single leg or into double leg raises. Keeping your hips in the mat. Looking for 10 to 12. Squeezing the bum cheeks. 5, 4, 1 more. You might feel this in the hamstrings as well, that's normal. And then 8 angels, floor is lava. or as many as you can. Just try and improve on last week's. Another 4. Last 2. 1 more. Oops. Oh, good, well done. Child's pose, nice and wide. Take your time because you're bending the back in the opposite direction now and it's fatigued. So it should be nice and warm and safe to do so, but just take your time. Good, feel free to grab a drink. So we're going to move into the transverse plane, so twisty, which twisty movements are good for opening up the chest, good for posture. Starting with thread the needle, so bent elbow, looking through. Start off with a smaller range of movement until your body gets used to and warmed up in this plane of movement. Inhale to rise, exhale to thread. Can you keep your core engaged throughout this whole movement? Can you feel the engagement? Looking for 10. 4. 2. 1 more, and then on the last one, I'm going to come round and pulse for 10, 9, 8, 7, looking at your hands, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Threading that needle, I'm going to hold it now, extend the arm above and settle into that stretch. Deep breaths, notice where you're feeling any tension, does that feel good? And if that feels good, go ahead and increase the stretch by tucking that top hand in your back pocket, making sure your chest doesn't fall into the ground, keeping upright. Deep breaths. Every exhale, bringing you a little bit further into the stretch, releasing tension. Shoulders down, away from ears. The next inhale, I'm going to carefully come out of that side. I'm going to move over to the other side. So you might be a bit stiff on the other side because you're swapping. But again, reduce the range of movement. For another 10, and you've got the 10 pulses for the posterior shoulder. Nana. Another 5. One more, then when you're ready, I'm going to pulse for 10. Let's go. 10, 9, 8, 7. Leading with your shoulder. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thread the needle and hold. Extend that top arm, stopping your chest from collapsing in. Good. And if that feels okay, you can tuck it in your back pocket. Good. Stopping your chest from collapsing. You can even use the floor for purchase. Deep breaths. Good. Carefully coming out. Feel free to grab a drink, water break. Okay. I'm going to switch on the core next. And use some glutes. So stabilising the pelvis, deep back muscles being worked. So one leg is kneeled, you can roll up the mat for more cushion on the knee if you're feeling it, opening up the hip and point your toes if that feels good, or keep it flexed if you're feeling it in your ankle. Rib cage tucked in, belly button into spine, chest proud. I'm going to move over to the side as far what feels comfortable for you, and then upright again for another 9. So working the sides of the stomach, similar to a hip dip or plank dips, side plank dips. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you're leading with your chest, your neck's not really moving much. I'll do one more. I'm going to extend the arms, keeping strength in the arms. Coming down, so we make so everything's placed in the sides of the abs. As many as you can, or 10. Once you've done your reps, a few seconds rest. Exhale as you come back up into center. Do one more. Good. From here, hands next to our head. Coming down, rotate to the floor and back up for 8 in total. So you might start to feel on the stabilizing leg as well. That's normal. Another 2. The slower you do it, the harder it is. One more. Good. Over to the other side. Hands on hips. Going for 10, all the way down, all the way up. Another 2. I'm going to extend them arms, have strength in them. Strong arms. You feel a nice stretch on the opposite side as well. Going for 10. Another 5. 2. One more. Good. Last one, hands behind head. Coming down, rotate and back up. So down first, sorry, then rotate. 8. Last 3. 1 more. Good. A few seconds rest. Get off. Good. Next, pigeon pose. Just stretch that off nicely. So your legs should be straight and in the center of your mat. Then you're coming down. You're sitting on that glute. And as you increase flexibility in the glute over time, you'd look to go into a right angle. So my 60-year-old client did this yesterday. I was well impressed. Something to aim for. If you feel like you're being pulled off center, it's a tight glute. And try and settle in. Using your inhale and exhale to relax. Next inhale, we're going to swap over to the other side.
Hello.
Do you mind? Deep breaths. One more big deep breath. The next inhale, making your way over to the downward dog. Don't worry about your heels coming on the floor. Just relax your neck, pushing your hips up to the ceiling. And you can paddle those feet out if that feels good. More bend in the knees, easier it will be. And easier on the back as well. We do a lot with our feet in everyday life. So let's give them a little massage. So I want you to lean over to one side of your foot. And we're just going to roll our toes into the mat. See how that feels. What's your movement like and flexibility as you work through this? I'm going to do a total of 10. When you're finished, we'll come over to the other side, relaxing your neck. How's this side feel? When you're finished, making our way over to semi-supine position for ab work. Okay. Rib cage tucked in, belly button into spine. Starting position here. So I want you to think about lifting your hips up off the floor to engage that lower core. Arms have strength. As you're holding, I'm going to push the shoulder blades forward and back. So up and down off the mat as you're holding this position for 15. Deep breaths, keeping that tension, that core braced fully. How straight can you get your legs? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, and release. 2 deep breaths. Inhale, arms rise. Using the belly and the diaphragm, the chest rises slowly. Exhale, count of 4. Good. One more. Same again, another 15. Legs up to tabletop. Curl, tuck the pelvis under the tailbone. Forwards and backwards with the shoulders touching the floor. How does that feel? Any clicks or anything? Tightness? Keep your shoulders down away from ears as you do this. Keeping the core braced. Trying to ignore the burning in your core. Going for 15. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, and release. Inhale, arms rise. Slower exhaling than you are inhaling. That's where your relaxation's coming from. Pause at the top with full lungs. Good. Knees up into tabletop. And you bring your knees closer to your elbows. Bring your shoulder blades off the floor as much as you can. But trying to get them hips off the floor as many as you can, or 15. If it's not challenging, it's not going to change anything. Coming down with control. Exhale, coming up. 2. These are tough. One more, keeping the muscle under tension for longer. Inhale, arms rise. I'll do that once more. As many as you can again, or 15. Hips coming off the floor as you curl in. Making sure your lower back stays on the floor. Another 5. 2, good. One more. Oh, well done. Inhale, arms rise. Good. Next, you're going to make your way over into a seated position with your legs flat. Now, you can, for support, feel free at any time to dip in and out of putting your hands like that for support. Otherwise, tucking your tailbone under, so you've got that curve in your lower back here, but your abs are pushing against your lower back to create tension and to keep it supported so it's not going to injure. From here, I'm going to come down a little bit and up, down a little bit and up. Now you can hook your toes on top of each other so you're not using your hip flexors as much, it's more in the abs. Just go down as far as what feels comfortable. The of this is obviously using your arms to come up and down. Another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Next, from here, place our hands on the floor, one leg at a time. We're isolating more the hip flexors here, but you are using your lower core as well. You need strong hip flexors for a strong lower core. As high up as you can go. 12 in total, so it's 6 each side. 7. Coming down with control and keep the tension in your abs so it becomes ab exercise as well. Notice anything that you're feeling in your back. Another 3, 2, 1. Good. A few seconds rest. And you can progress to bringing them both up and down on the floor. But if that's too much, feel free to just do the single, that's fine. Go in for 10 if you're doing the heavy ones. So your legs are heavy, so lower abs are engaged more. Another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. And release. Coming back down. Bring the knees in for a hug and roll, side to side. Spinal twist yet? Knees move over to one side and you move over to the other. Now we need to get our shoulder blades down on the mat, so let's do that first and then progress. So if your shoulder blades are down, that feels okay. Next, exhale, release any tension, tightness in the muscles around the hip area, the glute area. And if you have done that, extend the top leg and you can hook the other arm on the top of it. So hips should be stacked on top of each other. Deep breaths. Try and relax in the muscles and sink in. Deep breath in. So move over, take your time over to the other side. Again, just because you did it on one side doesn't mean you'll be able to on the other. Just take your time and see what feels good for you today. Keeping both shoulder blades relaxed on the mat. Extend that top leg. Relax any tension in the muscles around the hip area on this side. Every exhale, switching another part of the muscle off. Next, we're going to lie in Shavasana, so corpse pose as we begin guided relaxation. So if it feels more comfortable to be in semi-supine, feel free to do this, just whatever feels comfortable for you.